If being on the news was an Olympic sport, one country would be a top contender every single year. My home country, Lebanon. By age 15, I had lived through wars, bombings, and political assassinations. I was even evacuated on a military ship as a war refugee. So you would think that was the craziest, most dangerous thing I'd ever experienced. But you would be wrong. It was actually a minivan. In 2018, I went on a mission trip to Nairobi, Kenya. We were building a hub in the slums so kids could have access to better education in a safe space. And part of this trip is that we got to travel to Tanzania to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, which was a lifelong dream of mine. So we go to the mountain, we climb, we come back down. I'm feeling exhausted. My feet are blistered, but also victorious. And that's when the real adventure begins. See, I had a flight that evening that was leaving from Nairobi, Kenya, and it was about a 6-hour drive from where we were. So I was in no mood for surprises. Apparently, God had other plans. He was saving up all the surprises, and he decided to cash them in on that day. The first one was that Albert, who was the founder of the nonprofit and my travel companion, he owed the guide company money, couldn't pay it, so he got held hostage. At this point, I'm exhausted. I smell like 6 days of sweat, the type that just makes people want to evacuate the room. I was basically a walking biohazard at this point. And Albert tells me, Mo, you go, catch your flight, and I'll sort this out. Wait, what? That's not the plan. But I'm on a mission, and I have to trust this process. I have to get on that plane one way or another, so it looks like I'm going solo. Albert gets me a taxi to the border. I get to the border, and there it is, a little school minivan. The kind that fits 10 little cute children, but instead it was crammed with 20 gigantic adults. I get to the van, and I open the door, and I get punched immediately in the face by a thick, juicy cocktail of ass sweat mixed with diesel and fried plantains. It was the perfect cover-up for my own smell. In that moment, I felt like I belonged. So I get into the van and I squeeze all the way to the back, and I'm like, all right, I made it. The engine starts and we roll up to the border stop. And there I see them everywhere. Military officers in green uniforms, and they start to circle our van like hawks. Their eyes scanning inside the van, one face at a time. And I felt it. And the moment the officer's eyes land on me, he gives me that universal signal, get out of the van. I knew it. I felt it. Manifestation works, people. So I get out of the van, and the military officer starts speaking to me in Swahili. I don't speak Swahili. So this launches the most high-stakes game of charades ever. If you've ever thought the stakes were high playing charades with your friends, imagine losing and getting stuck in a foreign country. So I start. Visitor, flight, Nairobi. And the officer looks at me like I was a complete idiot. He takes me to his commander. Now I'm in a dungeon room with the commander. The commander looks straight at me. He looks deep into my soul for what felt like an eternity. And finally, he says, passport. And I hand him my passport. He stamps it and say, leave now. I felt a sense of relief followed by immediate panic, because if that van left without me, I'm screwed. So I rush back to the van, I jump in, I squeeze all the way to the back. Everybody's giving me the side eye. I don't care at this point. And I get settled, and I think I'm safe, and I take a deep breath. I made it. And that's when the driver floors it. This man was auditioning for Fast and the Furious, Nairobi Drift. He was swerving into incoming traffic. He's cutting through gaps that don't even exist. He became one with his horn the whole time. The smell of rubber filled the van. Women were clutching their babies. Men were shouting out prayers. And I'm holding on for dear life. And I'm thinking to myself, I survived a war zone. I survived Kilimanjaro. And I'm about to die in this minivan? There's no way I'm getting into heaven smelling like this. By some miracle, we make it to Nairobi Central bus station. I get out, my heart is pounding. I'm drenched in anxiety sweat. And now, the waiting game begins. See, Albert had told his wife to meet me at the Central bus station. But here's the catch. We had no phone contact, no exact time, and no way to find each other. So in that moment, again, I'm being asked to trust this process. God damn this process. 20 minutes pass, 30 minutes, 2 hours pass, and I'm standing there and I start noticing eyes everywhere on me. I was the only light-skinned person in that entire town square. And all of a sudden, a man approaches me, starts harassing me for money. He puts his hand on my shoulder, then his hand on me. I step back. He steps closer. I walk away. He follows me. I pick up the pace. He walks faster. At this point, my heart is racing and my blood is boiling. I turn around and the man grabs my arm and I clench my fist. I'm ready to throw the punch of my life. But I knew in that moment that if I did that, as a foreigner, I might get in big trouble. And in that moment, God answered my prayer. My guardian angel arrived. Albert's wife saw me from a distance. She jumped out of her taxi and ran straight at us. She shoved the man off me and started swearing at him in Swahili. And I'm standing there cheering her on, more. And then she grabs my arm and we get into the taxi. I think that it's over. It's not. The same man comes back. It's the most determined homeless person in the whole known universe. He comes back, he starts banging on the glass. He's about to break the window. At this point, I'm exhausted, frustrated, and hyped up on adrenaline. And all I want to do is roll down this window and just karate chop him in the throat. And that's when the traffic cleared and our taxi took off to the airport. What a day. The last 9 hours felt like 9 years. Later on that plane, I started to reflect when I had some peace and quiet. Like, what happened today? Did my energy bring the situation to me? Was it a coincidence? Was Mercury in retrograde? Whatever it was, that day taught me so much about trust, surrender, and self-awareness. I had just survived Mad Max Fury Road Minivan Edition. The story of this strange man in that strange land. Thank you.